All right, welcome to Open Gym Podcast, powered by Get Better Hoops Academy. I definitely want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is our first episode. It's a very exciting time for us. We definitely have done this before, but on a lower scale. We were doing this on Instagram Live, 2021, and it was just Instagram Live, and I was just getting people on the fly because during COVID. I had Bobby Jackson on. I had Larry Hughes on. I had some Division I players as well. But I wanted to boost it up to a podcast platform, and just utilizing my resources along with Joel Jones since our playing career, and the people that we made lifelong friends with, and people that we have networked with as well. As of right now, we have a guest. His name is Iverson Molinar. Thanks, dog. Appreciate you
no
showing
problem,
up, man.
No problem. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He is currently playing for the Mexico City Capitanes, and he just got recently traded in December. How you been, dog?
Been good, man. Been chilling. Enjoying life right now, and just enjoying the game of basketball. Really.
That's what's up. It looks like since you transitioned to your new team now, you're looking real free right now. Like we talked the other day, and I just wanted to express, like, I can just see highlights and just see how people play, just because, obviously I played before, but just as far as you having fun and enjoying basketball and getting back to something that you love.
Yeah.
But let's get it started with where you're from.
Man, I'm from Panama City.
Okay.
I came to the States when I was 15. My dream as a kid was always come to the state and play basketball. It was something I loved. A coach went to Panama and, did a little camp. And, by that time, I was probably, one of the best youth players in Panama.
Okay.
Then they were doing a project. They did a project and they brought like 4 of us. One of my lifetime best friends that, is actually playing right now too.
Okay.
And then, they brought us here. They brought me to LA, and, that's when I started with Oaks Christian Academy.
So let's go back when you started playing basketball. Your first sport was soccer.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you like football? Yeah,
football. Like we say, in Latin America, was football.
Yeah.
That was my sport, man. I just like running around, and I was actually a forward. So I always liked to score. I was always on mentality. Yeah, striker.
Okay. Were you any good?
I was good. Man. I was good. I feel like if I stayed with soccer, I would probably still play professionally soccer too.
Okay.
Like I was good.
'Cause I know because soccer is pretty much like one of the number one sports.
Yeah.
The global following of it and the history of it.
For sure.
So I can definitely see that. I didn't get into soccer.
Yeah.
My parents didn't. My lineage has no soccer in it at all.
Yeah.
With you being from Panama and your culture, as far as like sports within your culture, because you have baseball, obviously basketball, volleyball, but when it comes to like your lineage, since I've known you, since Georgia has introduced me to you, once you came to the States, talk a little bit about your dad and how he impacted you and how he was training you when it came time for. I guess he saw something in you that obviously you probably didn't see in yourself.
So my dad was really liberal. He didn't force me to play any sports, but he was, since he played basketball and he enjoyed working out and doing basketball drills, and he was a coach. Basketball was always around. There was always a basketball around the house, and he would be dribbling around the house. So basketball was always present. He of course he let me play soccer. I started with soccer. But just hearing the noise of the basketball bouncing every day, there's nothing but kind of like an energy that attracted me to play basketball because he was doing that.
So that's when like the passion and love for basketball kind of resonated through
you.
For
sure. Yeah. So I was like 5.
Okay.
I was 5 when I started dribbling in basketball. But like my main thing was soccer. Like, okay, like, you know, most of my friends are playing soccer anyway. So, you know, I want to hang out with my friends and I want to play the game of soccer. You know, it's really known in Panama.
Yeah, that's what's up. I did see some videos back in the day when your pops was training you. Because when I had a brief extent in Puerto Rico, and the gyms are kind of the same.
Yeah.
You know, they're when you look, it's like, especially during the day, you see like that's outside.
Yeah.
You know, so you're basically playing, you know, covered outside, and coming from the States and, you know, being spoiled with, you know, indoor wood floors and all that. You didn't have that when you were training.
Nah, man, we were definitely like you know, just working out and playing and literally like just floor. Like it wasn't
like concrete.
Concrete. Huh? It wasn't hardwood or it wasn't nothing like that. It was just concrete, and you know, it's that type of court that once you fall and you know, you fall on your knees, you're gonna scrape your stuff. You know
it's not,
like it's not a good look. Yeah,
it's
so,
like you falling off of a bike or something. Getting them marks on your hands.
For sure. But nah, man, like I feel like you know, just coming from that and you know, seeing what you know a lot of people does not have in Panama, like it's kind of eye opening. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a humble guy that you know my roots and know how I started. So you know, I would give props to that. That's the person I am today.
Yeah, that's what's up. I've always appreciated that about Iverson, just because when I first met him, he's very quiet, very reserved, which he still is now. But as far as how he carries himself and where he comes from, he definitely stays true to that. And seeing those videos, I'm like, man, I didn't grow up like that. But with you coming to the States and transitioning with that and being able to adapt, you know, that speaks volumes to me.
For sure.
We were talking about your dad, so that's a part of your lineage. But when it comes to your mom, your grandmother, your grandfather, I'll just say Grandpa Jones.
Yeah.
They played volleyball, right?
They played volleyball, yeah.
Okay.
They played volleyball.
So they played on the national team.
They did.
That's wild.
They did.
So JoJo, which is your uncle, he played on the Puerto Rican national team, but he's also Panamanian. So your lineage is pretty long.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, my grandparents met through the national team. You know, they were playing volleyball. You know, my grandma, you know, was really known for playing volleyball in Panama as well, and you know, my grandpa as well. So I feel like that's you know, really crazy lineage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just sports, straight sports. My dad, you know, he didn't make the national team, but he did went through the process, you know, getting the national team, the grind. So he worked out with the national team, and you know, when they made the cuts, he was one of the last cuts. So you know, he was close to making it.
Okay. So I love hearing about, you know, especially when you know your moms or they play the sport and they played at a high level. Yeah. You know, and I know your mom is just as impactful as your dad is, but maybe even harder. Yeah. You know, because she runs a tight ship.
For sure.
And I know she cares about her baby. Yeah. So I know that with her playing volleyball at a high level and the mentality that you have to have and the mental toughness you got to have, how did that, you know, transition over to you?
It really just, I feel like, you know, there's a saying that, you know, you carry yourself in everything you do. So I feel like my mom carrying herself from, you know, a sports side, you know, she taught me from little that, you know, I have to be clean. I have to be disciplined. I have to, you know, be on time for everything. I have to, you know, stick to the grind, let's say in school, or like, you know, be good at everything you do. So I feel like from that, you know, just I always try to, you know, nobody can be perfect, but I always try to be perfect in everything I do. You know, it was either whether in school, it was, you know, carrying myself outside of basketball, basketball, working out. So I take everything serious.
That's what's up. With your high school career, you came over, you said earlier you came over to the States at 15. Yeah. And again, at 15. So being a 15-year-old kid coming over to the States by yourself. that because I went through something like that, but not to where I went to another country.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
my dad shipped me to Texas for 3 months to go play, with, some country ass dudes, But it was an eye-opening thing for me, and it catapulted my game to another level.
For sure.
And I would assume that happened with you as well. But also speak to how many high schools you went to once you got here.
Man, high school was really a grind. When I came here my first time when I was 15. I went to Oaks Christian in LA. It's kind of like Westlake Village area.
Yeah, okay.
Went there for 1 year. Then my second year, I wanted to transfer to Village Christian, for, just family reasons. Went there, was there for a semester, and then as soon as the season was going to start, the CIF told me I couldn't play because of transferring
and all that. Yeah,
it was a little different back then. Like, you could only just transfer one time, and then if you transfer, you had to sit out for 30 days, and I had already sit out for 30 days going to Oaks. And then after, because I couldn't play for Village Christian, I went to Las Vegas for Trinity Christian School. Did that for 1 year. Then after that, I got actually during the season I got an injury. So I had an ankle injury, and I went to Panama to get therapy. And, I played for the national team, the senior national team, when I was 17.
Wow.
And I felt like that kind of like just catapulted my game.
Okay.
A lot of schools, a lot of high school, were asking about me, like, what I do, where
were you gonna go,
where I was going to go and all that. So this opportunity to go to Atlanta to Covenant Christian Ministries Academy, it's called, the school. Went there for a year. Instead of being a junior, they told me I had enough credits to be a senior. So I ended up being a senior that year. So I literally skipped 1 year from my sophomore year to my senior year. Damn. And yeah, so then after that, I was balling, I was hooping, and then this opportunity to play for Team Why Not, AAU, presented itself, and I decided to go for a prep year. And after I went for the prep year, I was just playing for Team 1 and just traveling around the country playing for a Nike team.
Yeah, I because we talked a little bit about you playing for Team Why Not and how it played a huge part in your career. And I know transferring schools, especially being from another country, and you're basically on an island by yourself.
For sure.
You only have so many family resources to depend on. And while still being a teenager is tough, but then you found, a good family within, because the AAU grind is different, and it was different when I was playing. Yeah, it was wild when I was playing. It's even wilder now. So with Team Why Not and you playing in the Peach Jam and being on that stage, how was that?
It was amazing, man. It was actually my first, I wouldn't say my first experience playing like that, but, one of the first experiences playing with, a big stage and, just big fans and a lot of people.
Westbrook there too?
Westbrook there too, coaching us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I think by that time he was, if I'm not mistaken,
was he still with
considered
OKC.
He was with
OKC.
Rockets. Nah, he was with OKC, and that was the year he went absolutely crazy with the triple doubles.
Yeah, he would be. So, I think it was Oscar Robertson.
Robertson, yeah. That's I think that's the year when he beat him.
Okay.
And, just actually meeting him, like, him coaching us, and meeting him a high school player. I'm like, man, like, I'm really being coached by Russell Westbrook.
That's a humbling experience.
Yeah, it's a humbling experience.
Like surreal.
A kid from Panama, man. Like, a kid from Panama. Came when I was 15, and I was 18 there, and I'm like, man, like, after 3 years,
you right next to
I'm right
Russell
next to him.
That's what's up.
But nah, man, it was a humbling experience, and it was great. I liked it.
That's what's up. I know with that experience, because I had a similar experience, but mine was more like on a collegiate level.
Yeah.
And I remember, I don't know if some of the viewers remember Kevin Augustine. I played for Branch West Basketball Academy, which was Doug Gottlieb. Okay. Doug Gottlieb he passed away, but his son is I want to say he's an analyst for Fox. But I played, but he was a D1 player too, though. He played for Oklahoma State.
Okay.
and he might still hold the college record for assists.
Oh man.
Doug Gottlieb. Look him up.
Okay.
But Kevin Augustine, he was cold. He was like, he went to modern day, and I used to watch him as a kid, and I was practicing with him, and I was like,
Man, it's different experiences.
he murdering me right now, but I love it.
True.
So I know a little bit of what that felt. Even though Westbrook, he's a GOAT, he's a legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about you leaving the pack, because the reason why I say leaving the pack is because my father would always say, because I was playing with like 2 teams at one time. Like my dad would take me to L.A.,
Yeah.
bring me back to the IE. I would have probably practice in L.A., have a game here,
Yeah.
but simultaneously playing on 2 teams. But my dad was always saying, like, you got to leave the pack, because you leaving the pack, you're taking something from that pack and bringing it to this other pack.
Yeah.
So you leaving the pack with different high schools and then transferring those experiences once it came time to college and getting recruited. How did you adapt once the recruiting process came about? Because you're getting so many college coaches coming at you and all that. How did you deal with that?
Man, as a high schooler, as a teenager, I was really just going through the experience. I was never a kid that actually dwell on, thinking about like, oh man, like this college is calling me, then this college is calling me. I was always grinding. You know what I'm saying? I was always working out. I was always trying to, keep the main thing.
Yeah.
But man, the experience, it was nuts. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like different college coaches calling you and, telling you this, telling you that, this would be a better fit, this would not be a better fit. I had a lot of people in my ears, and I was 17, 18, and like I didn't know how to handle it, but I was fortunate enough to, have my uncle JoJo, to like, kind of guide me through it, and because he's been through a similar situation, he played professionally as well. So, without his guidance, like it would have been a little bit tougher. But I'm just thankful that he was there.
I definitely remember your recruiting process, and hearing because like I said, your mom, she runs a tight ship, and she wants her baby to be put in a position, to succeed, and I feel it 100%. I know with because once you got to Team Why Not, your stock just went.
Yeah, it went. I went from like I was some ranked. I had 0 college offers. We had one session, and that session it was in April, and my stock or my recruiting process just skyrocketed. Like I went from 0 to like 30 plus offers from different colleges, low, mid, high.
Right.
And, during that process, I actually went from a rank to like a 4-star in high school. I don't know if that's a thing now, but yeah, so it went from that.
So we were also briefly talking about like the verbiage from college coaches and how they, they have to do their job to recruit and all that, but they also, they try to poke the bear in other areas, not particularly you, but poke the bear with other,
other college coaches. Yes, for sure, man. Like, I would hear like different stuff like, let's say, oh yeah, if you go to the school, you're not gonna play as much, or if you go to the school, you're gonna have to transfer after the first year because you're not gonna like shade. Yeah, I mean, and they're trying to do their job. I feel like the recruiting process, it was a little dirty for sure.
I know the feeling as well. I didn't get recruited until, like I said earlier, with my dad sending me to Fort Worth, Texas, to play with Stop Six. And like I said, it was an experience, but it was one of the best experiences of my life, because as soon as I got back to the IE, and school started, my coach, I remember like the first week of school, my coach McNally, I remember him coming down the hall and he handed me a letter.
Oh, man.
And it was a college letter. I don't remember who it was from. I just remember I saw a college on it and I was like,
pumped.
I was juiced, juiced.
Pump,
and then that's when, because once you get that type of notoriety and you know that you belong on that stage,
Yeah.
then
It's different mentality.
it's different mentality.
Yeah.
You know, your heart starts beating a little different. Your brain starts thinking a little
sure,
different.
for sure.
So that's the beauty of, you know, the recruiting process. Because for viewers, they may not have been through this process before. It is important to know how to get through it, because mentally it could put you through the ringer.
For sure,
You know, if
for
you don't
sure.
have any support, you know, like your parents and JoJo as well.
Yeah.
So also with your time with Why Not and you going through the recruiting process, you had to narrow down colleges. You had to like put a mark on, like, okay, who's my top one, who's my two, who's my three.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Man, okay, so I remember going through that process, right? You know, just cutting schools down. I feel like the hardest part of cutting these schools was having the coaches calling me back after I told them that nah, like, you know, they're not into consideration of being my top 4 list. And that's when, you know, all the bashing and all the, you know, like you said, poking the bear will come. Like, oh yeah, if you go to the school, you're not gonna play as much, or if you go to the school, they're not gonna give you as much attention as we're gonna give you. But nah, like at the end of the day, I went with the schools that, you know, kind of like giving more attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they were calling more, they were being consistent.
Right.
You know, and those schools were Mississippi State and San Diego State were the top 2. Then after Arizona came into place, and then Arizona State as well, you know, came into play. It's just, you know, consistent called me for, you know, for weeks. So
Because they came on later, didn't they?
they came out later.
Okay.
They came out later for sure. Yeah.
So, because you took a visit, because also that too with you going on unofficial visits or you know official visits, because you went to USC as well.
That was later on though.
That was later on. Yeah,
That was later
okay.
on. That was after I took my official visit from Mississippi State and San Diego State, and I took an unofficial to Pepperdine actually with Lorenzo Romar. Yeah,
Romar.
And then after that, I took an official visit to USC with
Jason Hart.
With Jason Hart when he was there.
Yeah.
But nah, it was great, man. Like, you know, I took my official visits, and the process was just.
Was it
long.
5? Could you only take 5 official visits?
5 official visits, yeah.
Okay.
It's 5 official visits, but I took 2 official visits, and after I took the visits from Mississippi State, I was like, man, this is the school I'm gonna go to.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, what made you decide Mississippi State? But also, I mean, we know you chose Mississippi State clearly, but with their recruiting process, making you feel comfortable, being more personable, you know, calling you, answering the calls or whatever.
Yep.
Once you went on your visit, you know, what made you feel like, you know, I can, you know, make a home here?
It's just a feeling, man. You know, you take a visit and you feel like, okay, like I can make this my home. I can make this my home. I can be here for 4 years or 3 years or whatever the case is. And like just the love, the coaches, you know, the assistant coach Corey McCray, this is the one that recruited me.
Yeah.
You know, I actually shout out to him.
That's what's up.
Man, he just made everything easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he did his work. You know, he even visited my family in Panama. He went all the way he went all the way to Panama to see my family. You know, see where I was raised. You know, see where I started practicing. So I feel like, you know, that just hit home. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, family is one of the most important things for me. So, you know, he made sure he did that. You know, when to Panama visited.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
With Mississippi State, you know, the tiers of mid-major schools versus, you know, SEC.
Yeah.
The SEC is like creme de la creme, all across the board, basketball, football, baseball, you know. And playing in the Southeastern Conference on a night in and night out basis, because your freshman year you averaged like 6 points. Your your sophomore year, you averaged about 16 points. And then your junior year you averaged like almost 18 points.
Yeah.
So because your freshman year you had a breakout. because you started some games.
Yeah.
Then your sophomore year is when you tested positive, for COVID.
Yep.
And you had to sit out for like 3 games or something like that.
Yeah, first 3 games.
But coming back, you fit right in, like because your trade ball was going crazy. So what made you make that jump? Because that's a huge jump from 6 points all the way to almost 17.
It was like, so COVID hit freshman year, right?
Yeah.
And after COVID hit, that's when I came to San Diego. And I remember I was working out 3-4 times a day.
With JoJo, right?
With JoJo, yeah. I was going in because I knew my sophomore year was, it was going to be a really important year for me. Started working out. It was during COVID, and there was just nothing but basketball. No going out. I was still young. There was just, focus on basketball. I was really like I don't know, like I was really like, just like in a bubble. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it was basketball, watching film, watching a lot of film, watching a lot of basketball. Right. And after COVID, I went back to Mississippi State, and all the coaches were already talking to me about how important it was, and so I really just locked in, man.
Yeah.
I really just locked in, and I just knew, like I said, how important it was, and unfortunately, I had got COVID. For the first 3 games. I had a great summer, working out, putting extra reps in.
And then COVID.
And then COVID hit. Yeah. And then, I was out for 3 years. No, not for 3 years, for 3 games. And after the 3rd game, I'm like, yeah, like it's time to come back. And, did the conditioning testing, and, I was right where I left at. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I know that could be, tough with missing games.
Yeah, it was.
And especially being your was that your freshman year, right?
My freshman year.
Yeah. So the fact that, because COVID, I was running rampant at the time, and like we briefly discussed about the respiratory part of you, and you guys at that level, you get tests done.
For sure.
And when we were going to school at Sac State, there wasn't no damn test going on if you got sick or whatever. So I know if COVID was back in 2001, ain't no way in hell we would have had a test talking about I would have been at the level I was before I got sick.
Yeah.
So what I was saying about you playing in the SEC, playing on a night-on-night basis, you got to be prepared every single game when it comes to conference play. Talk about your mental preparation and you with your team and coaches and assignments and stuff like that, because a lot of kids, if kids are watching this, when it comes to breaking down film and watching defensive schemes and offensive schemes and all that, talk about how you had to stay locked in when it came time to play Kentucky.
Yeah. Man, I remember playing Kentucky
say your junior year, because you balled out your junior year.
Yeah, so let's say playing Kentucky my junior year, right? And I remember, being in the locker. I was already locked in with my music. I had my playlist, but it really just started from the night before. I remember watching film. I remember watching film on Bradley Beal or kind of like Damian Lillard.
Okay.
Watching film on Ja when he was back then, he was hooping.
You were watching Killers.
I was watching Killers the night before, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, setting my alarm and, sleeping before 11. I fell asleep, woke up at 7:38 before shoot around. I remember watching, some highlights again. And then we went to shoot around, and, shoot around went well, went all that. We did all the defensive schemes. And then coming back to the hotel, I was just locked in already. I already knew that, it was going to be a good game. It's just a feeling, I feel like us hoopers just get like, okay, like this is going to be a good game. We're going to beat Kentucky. We're going to get this W at Kentucky at Ruff Arena. And, once I got to the game, I was like, man, first couple 2 minutes, I was a little nervous. Of course. Then after the 2 minutes, just everything just started flowing, and I was kind of just in that flow state, really. I was just, everything went well. Everything I wanted to do just came easy to me.
Yeah, I watched that game from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And because they had Oscar Sheetway?
Oscar Sheetway. They had this player called Grady. Yeah. The shooter. And then who else do they have? They have a Wheeler, Severe Wheeler. That I believe he's not at Georgia. If I'm not, oh, he's at Kentucky right now.
Okay.
Yeah, man, just good players. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, they were really solid. They were really solid from 1 through 5. So, I knew it was gonna be a challenge, but I knew we had it too.
Yeah, and that was your best game of the season, wasn't it? That because you had what, like 30?
30, yeah.
30
was
something.
Yeah, it was 30 points. But just dropping that at Rupp Arena, it was a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dream right there, especially for me and JoJo. I know JoJo's played on bigger stage overseas, but when it came to college, because those years, you don't get those, those back, and playing in a Rump Arena where history, is so much history within that arena, but when seeing you perform at that level, I was like, this dude needs to be in the league like right now.
Yeah.
So let's get into with you having, because you were player of, because you got player of the week that week, I want to say.
Yeah, I was in a row. I had
yeah, because you were on a stretch.
Yeah, so I was playing. We played at Mississippi. We played Georgia. I had 28. And then we play. Damn, who else we played that I had a 26-point game? I think we did play Minnesota, but it was a non-conference game.
Okay.
And then after that, that's when we played at Kentucky, and that's when I got the 30 points. So that week was a really good week. I was locked in, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had to toot my own horn, but I've gotten player of the week before as well. All right, so with once because just like I said, I said, you deserve to be in the NBA and at least a shot with the way you're playing and just like how you're playing, right now. You have NBA scouts on you, and you have now you're in like this huge pool of draftees. So the politics start to come out even more.
Yeah, for sure.
So did you feel the politics coming on once you saw scouts talking about you and even agents trying to,
Yeah, like I feel like politics is involved in everything now we do nowadays, man. Like, I definitely never saw it like that, like in professional level, because that was my first time. But I felt like my first time, it did hit, but I took it positive, man. Like I said, like back in like when I mentioned in high school that I was just a kid that I always kept the main thing. So even though everything that happened 2 years ago, I was already keeping the main thing is I was getting better and getting in the gym, staying positive, and to this day that's what one of my mojos for real.
Yeah, because I know through that process just from talking to JoJo, and you going through that, because I was with you on draft day.
Yeah.
And it was a great evening, and I know you felt good because we was looking good.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to be swagged out on draft day, and you got your agents there and everything because you signed with a particular agency, and you don't get drafted. And what was going through your mind when one, you didn't get drafted, and then you see other cats on TV that are either getting a hat or you hear getting picked up?
Yeah,
it's like I busted their ass. Just this past season or the last 3 seasons or wherever.
Yeah,
like how are they going before me? So how did that make you feel?
It's a different mentality, underdog mentality, man.
Yeah.
I took it a different way, but it was really eye opening with what I was gonna get into. I had my whole family there. I had support, so it was just underdog mentality. Like, okay, there's work to do. There's more to do. There's a lot of people to prove that that I can be in that level and that I can play. Or at least get a shot. So, like I said, I kept the main thing, and just. Literally, after probably a couple of days, 1 or 2 days after, we got in the gym, or if not the next day, you know what I'm saying? And, there's a lot more work to do. There's a lot more to do. So I just really locked in, and like they had that different mentality. It was just a switch that kind of turned on. Yeah.
I love hearing that when it comes to sports, just because I had that same mentality, being an underdog, and being a walk-on, at a Division I school. So it's like imperative to have that mindset, because if you don't, obviously you're just gonna get passed by.
Exactly.
So you persevering through adversity with that, because you went through rigorous training with JoJo, and then you go through combines. You know, and you traveling, you got deadlines, you know, to be at certain places and all that, and then all of a sudden you get to draft day, and it's like, all right.
Like it's like, some players or some people would say like, man, I went through all that thing for nothing.
For nothing, yeah.
But I feel like, it kind of molded me to the player I am today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm, more, mentally stronger. I kind of, bet on myself a lot more than I did before. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like it's just a switch you turn on. Like, okay, like I got to bet on myself more, and I got to trust myself more, and I just feel like, doing all that, it kind of just moved me to the player I am today.
That's dope. Hey, don't forget to click the subscribe button. Make sure you like. If you comment whatever. If you're hating, even better. I appreciate it. But subscribe if you're enjoying your time. Also, with you talking about, being an underdog, because I had told JoJo, I didn't even tell you this. When you didn't get drafted, my whole thing was just what me and JoJo have always, talked about, and the certain level you want to get to when it comes to the grind of basketball and the different levels of, you got top tier high schools, top tier college, top tier, organizations, because there's money involved, and even when you go overseas. And I'm like, man, this dude Iverson is in the position that we wish we were in.
Yeah.
And to see you go through it, and to see how you took on the challenge of not being drafted, you didn't change a bit. Your demeanor didn't change. Your facial expression didn't change. Nothing.
Yeah,
you just turned, because you've already been through so much. So I was telling Joe, like, he already been through so much. This ain't
nothing.
This ain't nothing to him.
Yeah. Definitely, like, transferring different high schools and like being able to adapt to, like, the different environments, and actually coming to the States when I was 15. Being a kid and actually not speaking English, and adapting to like a whole different culture.
Right.
Like, I feel like, it was, like, of course, it's, like, it's a little detrimental. Like, once you get to the spot, like, damn, like, I worked out, I did all that. But at the end of the day, like I said, I kept the main thing. And I knew, there's different ways to get into the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always just getting drafted.
Right.
So, now, man, like I said, just worked out. Kept staying positive, kept betting on myself. And, that's what I'm doing to this day.
That's dope. So you got picked up by the Milwaukee Bucks organization, the Wisconsin Herd, shortly after you found out you didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
Now, you getting picked up, there's levels of contracts when it comes to going into the G League. So what contract did you go underneath?
The Exhibit 10, E10, which is like right under the two-way.
Okay. So with that, because certain people obviously don't know how G League players get paid, and what contracts are they under. Yeah. Now, once you got to the Wisconsin Herd under the Bucks organization, how was your experience, and how did you grasp the front office people, and how did they treat you?
They treated me well, man. I feel like outside of basketball, like they were a great organization. The culture is a winning culture, right? So I feel like that was, I would say, if it was my first experience, in the G League, that's a good one to go to.
That's what's up.
They teach you, how to carry yourself. Like I said, it's a winning team. So, they try to kind of like, emblem the Wisconsin Herd, the G League team, with the same way.
Okay.
So it was a great experience. With basketball, with everything, I learned a lot. As a rookie.
Because you're there 2 years, right?
Yeah, I did 1 year
Or
and
one
a
and a
half.
half,
One and a
okay.
half. My first year, you know, there was like a lot of ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? Like the G League is a grind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, dog versus dog. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, you know, there was a lot of other undrafted players or, you know, players that, you know, were already in the league that are now in the G League that are trying to prove that they can be back in the league. So, like I said, like it's a grind. You know, you're playing against dogs. You know, you actually practicing against dogs in the team. So, like I said, you know, it was a great experience going through that. Yeah.
That's good. I know it is eye opening.
Yep.
You know, for you at that time, and going through a year and a half. You know, with the organization like that, especially with the winning culture that they have.
Yeah.
And I know just recently that you got, you know, traded in December to the Mexico City Capitanes, and just seeing your level of play and how free you're playing right now.
Yeah.
You know, you look like you're having some fun right now.
I am having fun, man. I love the city. You know, I know we're gonna get more into detail with that, but you know, Mexico Capitanes, it's a great experience right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing free. I'm actually getting better through trial and errors. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting the opportunity to learn from the games.
Right.
So it's great, man. Like I feel like, you know, I'm out there, you know, just kind of like, okay, just kind of learning. Like, you know, if I do this, if I do that, you know, maybe this won't work. Now it's like I'm actually developing,
Right.
because, you know, I'm getting the opportunity to play.
That's dope. That's dope. I know we're on the tail end of you know, our episode here, the first episode with Iverson Molinar. But I got to get this before
Yeah.
before we end.
Yeah.
Your top 5 basketball players.
Top
of
5
all
basketball
time.
players.
It better not be suspect either.
It's not sus. It's not sus. It's not
It better
sus.
not be suspect.
At the, let's say at the 5, I'll put Shaq. 5 Shaq. At the okay, let's go from the 1 through 5. 1 through 5, but 5 is Shaq for sure.
Okay.
So at the 1, damn, there's a lot of tough players. No disrespect though. No disrespect.
Okay.
No disrespect for sure. At the 1, I would probably put. You're already looking at me. You're already looking at me crazy.
It sounds suspect. It sounds suspect.
You're already looking at me crazy, but man, I'm trying to think. At the 1, you gotta. I will give it to Steph. The 1. I will give the 1 to Steph.
Okay. That's respect. That's very respectable.
Yeah. At the 3, you know, he's versatile. You know, he's long. He can shoot. You know, he can play. His game just comes easy to him. I would say KD at the 3.
Okay.
KD at the 3. At the 2.
Yeah, you better say Jordan.
The 2 I would say Jordan. The 2 I would say Jordan. Jordan for sure. Jordan. But at the 3, you know, I'm been a little debatable. I know Kobe. Kobe's up there. But it's either Kobe or KD. Either or.
And you're 4.
The 4. I say, well, put the 4, man.
You got Tim Duncan. You can say Dirk, but I know you're not gonna say.
No, I'm not gonna say Dirk. Tim Duncan's out there though, but I'm trying to. I don't want to say nothing crazy, yo. I feel like I got eyes on me. I got JoJo. I got him. I got you.
Man, forget JoJo. You don't know.
Man, at the 4, yo.
KG.
Mm-mm.
No.
Nah, the KG's up there, bro. I won't say KG.
Shit, you can. Even though Magic was a point guard, he can play forward too.
Oh man.
You don't even know.
I do.
Who would be your top 2?
My top 2?
Yeah, for forwards.
So I would really say Tim, and then I would be Embiid.
All right. Because he ain't really a 5 to me.
It's not. He's a 4. He's a 4.
The way he plays like a 4.
But Embiid is up there.
He's a beast.
Yo, because I feel like he just can do so much stuff now. Like I'm saying, like back in the day, he's physical. He can shoot the piss out of the ball.
Yeah.
He got the midi.
Yeah, he got
It's
the
really,
whole,
it's
he
really,
got the whole package.
He got the whole package, and it's really hard to stop him. Like, what are you gonna put? You're gonna put a big that's stronger, but he's gonna be, of course, slower.
But he gonna put it on the floor too.
And he puts it on the floor, and he can shoot the ball. So like,
yeah, that's tough.
He stretches the floor, man.
Yeah,
ain't no 4, no 5 that can guard out there consistently, man. You know
Jokic.
I still got Embiid, bro.
All right.
I still got Embiid. Jokic is other, but I still got Embiid, man.
Okay.
He's just, I don't know. It's just demeanor is different. Jokic is definitely slower, but you know, I just feel like Embiid is just kind of just got that Mamba mentality, man.
Yeah.
Like it's just, you know, you out there, I'm gonna eat your alive.
Yeah, he's his game is obviously different from Jokic, but Jokic is a killer.
He is. I feel like Jokic is an efficient player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he does the right play.
Right.
You know, he got the European
Makes the right passes.
Yeah, he got the European style, you know, for basic point guard that you want to call it. You know, he makes the right passes.
Yeah.
You know, the eyes to the floor, his eyes are, you know, just everywhere.
Right.
You know, he can shoot the ball as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like, I'm just give it to Embiid, really.
Okay. That's respect.
The beast.
Well, y'all, we're going to end this episode with Iverson Molinar. Definitely appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you coming
appreciate
through.
y'all.
Good luck to you in the season. Stay healthy, brother. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We will have another episode number 2 coming soon to you. Again, please subscribe if you can. Like, comment. We really appreciate feedback. Want to thank you again. My name is Joseph Dawson. See you guys soon.
Sir.